Welcome to 27 Topics. Our guest at this time is Mike Hile. Mike is the Transportation Coordinator for the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Corporation. Mike, it's great to have you back. School is just about ready to start. And one of the important things, I guess, with the start of school is traffic safety and busing of kids.
Yes, it certainly is, Paul, and glad to be back today. And summer goes too fast every year, but here we are again.
Yes, we are. And are there any changes in traffic and transportation that will affect the school busing?
No, there are no changes from years past. As every year, annually, we have bus inspections. The state police, the state of Indiana, does this for all school buses, and in June, they came in this year, and all of our drivers had to have their buses to meet inspection, and they get underneath and check the brakes and the kingpins and all the lights and make sure everything's working so that the students will be safe on these buses.
Does the school corporation own the buses, or are they contracted, the drivers?
We have 26 routes currently. 23 of them are contracted drivers, and the school corporation owns 3 buses, and we contract 3 drivers to drive those buses.
How many miles do you drive, or do the buses? Well, you probably, it's not something that we have to know, but
well, there's 26 routes, and if you figure all of them drove 50 miles, and some of them drive less than that, but that's about 1,300 miles a day.
And how is the price of the fuel going to affect what's going on?
We have we contract our drivers for 4 years, and when we sign a contract, we have a fuel cost in there. And then in September the 1st and January the 1st, we do a fuel escalation. We have an escalation clause in it. So if we, whatever the figure was that we contracted for, if the fuel rises above that, then we pay them additional fees for the additional price of the fuel. So it's going to dip into our transportation account this year because it's considerably higher than what we contracted for.
Do you have an estimate roughly of how much more that's going to cost the school?
No, I don't at this time have a rough idea. We just know, like I said, what the contracted price was and what it is today.
And obviously it can fluctuate.
Yes, and it's
going down now a little bit.
Thank goodness it's going down a little bit.
Every penny helps, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
A person doesn't realize that every penny helps until you have an operation like you have.
Correct.
Those pennies add up very fast.
Yes, everything from tires to fuel, batteries. You just start putting all those things on your buses, and yes, the pennies do add up.
What safety regulations do you have for the parents and the kids?
Well, we'd like to encourage, all the drivers have stops where they pick up more than one child. We don't stop at every door. And we'd like for the parents to try to cooperate and have their child either at the stop or entering that area when the bus will be arriving, because we do have time frames. We need to get the students there by 7:45, if at all possible, 7:50. And so with the driver having so many stops to make, we'd like for them to be ready and be there, and encourage the children as they're waiting for the school bus not to push one another out in the road, or fight or bully one another, so to speak. But those are some issues that the parents and the students need to deal with themselves, and be cooperative with the driver so that they can be safe while they're waiting for the bus to arrive.
Kids living in a certain block, they meet at a certain place in the block?
Yes. Like I said, we don't stop at every door, and if we go up a street and there may be 3 or 4 students on that street, they may meet at the corner. So there's a stop sign or something there already, so it's convenient for the driver and a little more safe than stopping in the middle of a block, like that.
Well, it's kind of interesting, that you don't stop in front of every door. Years ago, they stopped in front of every door.
Years ago, there probably weren't as many students riding either.
the houses weren't as close together, you're saying?
That could be too, yes.
Yeah, especially out in the rural area.
Right.
Now the rural areas are housing developments.
Exactly.
What time in the morning do the buses start?
We don't like to start any sooner than we have to, but most of our buses will begin rolling by 6:30, and we have a few routes, like you said, out in the country that are longer routes that they may begin picking up as early as 6:35 or something like that, but majority of them are around 7 o'clock. They begin picking up their students.
That seems to be real early. Do those kids go home first in the afternoon then?
They run the route backwards in the afternoon. So if you're the last on in the morning, you'll probably be the first off in the afternoon. So the routes are just, like I said, they're just reversed in the afternoon.
What if start of the school year? There's many new students and transfers and things like that. What if somebody has questions on bus route and the picking up of their students?
The policy normally, or what's normally happened, they will call me, and I will refer them to the driver that their child will be riding, and then they contact the driver. Excuse me, and the driver can give them an approximate estimation time of arrival and what time they'll be dropping them off. But interesting that you said that. We have set routes, but we never know when people move in. You get an influx of a certain amount of people in one area, and the bus becomes overcrowded. And then our drivers are very, very good in setting down. We'll sit down then with 3 or 4 of them that are in the same area, and how can you help me take a few of mine and I'll pick up a few of yours, or whatever the case may be, to try to balance out the route so that we're not overcrowded. But it seems like every year it pops up someplace that we have an overcrowded bus because of people who moved in, or all of a sudden students are starting school that hadn't been going before, and things like this.
And I guess the buses are numbered because you see maybe more than one bus go down a street or a county road to pick up the students. I guess they're numbered so kids know which is their bus.
Yes. We're numbered 1 to 27, and for some reason we don't have a number 21 in there, but that's the way it was. But yes, each bus is numbered, and we do have some areas that we may have a couple picking up in the same area where in some instances we're able to pick up the elementary schools, and another bus will follow with the middle school and high school, but we're not able to do that in every area. So we do have a mix on some places.
Are you permitted to pick up the elementary and the high school on the same bus?
Yes, like I said, they do that in some areas.
What percentage of the students that have their license drive to school?
Gosh, that's a large percentage. It's a very large percentage, and I don't know exactly, Paul, what that would be, but I know it's probably close to 75% if I were to guess.
That is a tremendous. Now, with the gas prices the way you are, some of the buses may see an increase.
I've thought about that, and we do have, fortunately, we have 3 older buses that we use as spares, and sometimes they'll have to leave early for an athletic event, but we do have 3 extra buses. If that would be the case, we would have to find a driver, but we have some substitute drivers that would be willing to fill in for a period of time.
Mike, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I believe that's all. I'd just like to hope everyone has a safe start to school. Encourage the drivers to watch for the school buses. They'll be rolling on August the 15th. Watch for the stop arms to keep the children safe as they're loading and unloading the buses. And with their time the way it is, it seems like we're picking up students in the dark all the time at this point in time. And so just be cautious, and I hope we have a safe school year for everyone.
Mike Hile, thank you for being our guest on 27 Topics.
You're welcome, Paul.
Welcome back to 27 Topics. Our guest at this time is Terry Enlow. Terry is Superintendent of Southwest School Corporation. Terry, welcome to 27 Topics.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Appreciate it.
How many years have you been superintendent over at Southwest?
I started there in January of '05, so I guess I'm finishing about my fourth year there, fourth calendar year. So it's been a delightful time. I've enjoyed it.
And every year there seems to be changes, in everything. And in these 4 years, I'm sure you've seen some changes. What are new changes this year?
Oh, absolutely. It seems like every year we have challenges that we have to keep up with. It seems like most of them have to do with certainly curricular issues because of accountability on testing, on the I-STEP test. So we're always looking into curricular issues that might better prepare our students for that test, and just better curricular issues. One of the things we're taking on this year is somewhat of an alternative school credit recovery program, and this is certainly for those students that are at risk of not graduating. We have some accountability issues with our graduation rate. So therefore, we're looking at how we might retain these students and help them get a diploma. And through this credit recovery or alternative school, they'll be able to, through the use of a lot of technology, they'll be able to go back maybe and pick up a freshman English class that they were not successful with. And so starting as in the sophomore year with a student who may have failed a freshman English class, that's just a snowball. Trying to take 2 English classes in 1 year, so they can go back and do a credit recovery on this, on kind of self-paced, and we're looking forward to that maybe as certainly a help to help graduate more students.
Or when you talk about credit recovery and going back and recover, is a lot of it anymore on the computer that they can do it at home without?
Actually, this is a web-based program. I mean, it kind of works like the student sits down and they do a lesson. They answer the questions. They have a criteria that they have to meet in terms of percentage they have to get right, and then they can move on to the next one. And then once they've completed so many, it's time to do a midterm. That is proctored by a teacher. They cannot do that at home or anywhere else, but that's proctored by a teacher. And if they are successful on the midterm, then they move on to the next set of lessons. And finally, they get to the end of complete the end of the course via the technology, and they're ready for a final exam. Again, proctored by a teacher. And if they're successful there, then they indeed can recover a credit in a class that they have been unsuccessful in. And even it offers some a possibility for some accelerated students, maybe classes we can't offer or don't offer, or they don't have a opportunity to take. They can actually take this, we'll say online, it's web-based, and get a credit for it. So we're excited about the possibilities, particularly for those kids that have fallen behind and are at risk at not graduating.
Well, that really sounds like a great opportunity for the kids.
It is, and today alternative schools, certainly in days past, we didn't think much about alternative ways of educating. We opened the doors, kids came in, either they made it or they didn't. We certainly have to think in a different vein today, because as educators and as the people are responsible for producing productive citizens, it's our responsibility to see that students get a high school diploma, and that they graduate and that they can succeed. Because if they don't, the entire community has to pay that price. So we're excited about it. We hope that we can, even if we only serviced 10 or 12, those numbers we think were zero to begin with. So we're excited about that.
That's very exciting. Any other new curriculum that's being added?
Well, we are in the process of using what is called a student success process. This is sort of a mastery learning. This is primarily through 2 through 8. And SSP means, as I said, student success process. It's a process by where the student is taught, then they are assessed on whether they have actually retained these skills and this knowledge. And then if they haven't, there's a reteaching, there's a retesting. The simple term for it is mastery learning, to make sure that the students are actually mastering what is happening. And then along with the Department of Ed, we have gone into a software package called Acuity, which is one of those pieces that is diagnostic in nature, lets us know as a student moves through our student success process whether they're going to be successful on that state exam, the I-STEP exam. And you know, we all know that we call it high stakes testing because it is high stakes. You know, for us, for the school, for accountability, and for the student also, and you know, for the parents. I mean, so we want to do everything we can to make sure that our students have the best chance to succeed.
What about the staff?
Well, the staff, we are undergoing quite a change in staff. I mean, you know, in education in the last probably, I'd say 15, 20 years, things have been pretty status quo. You know, people have stayed. Once they get into education and get locked in Indiana, you're pretty well, I'll use the word stuck, because if you have a lot of years of experience, it's difficult to get into another school district because the state does not reimburse us based on teacher experience. But in Southwest Dubois, about 4 years ago, we entered into an agreement as far as retirement is concerned in what was called an irrevocable pension retirement plan, where if teachers chose to be involved in this plan, they could only teach for 4 more years. This is the end of that 4-year period. So over that period of time, we will have replaced some 23 to 27 teachers. That's new in the business because we haven't been doing that over the years. So from the standpoint of we're losing a lot of experienced teachers, that will hurt us. But also from the standpoint that we are able to hire a lot of new, excited young individuals who are very enthusiastic and certainly have more energy than some of us that have been around for a while.
Well, the thing with the new teachers is that they certainly are coming into a new era with new ideas.
Absolutely.
And new tools that, you know, many of them didn't have at the start of their career.
Absolutely. The technology today is just unbelievable what is expected. And you know, manipulating data, knowing students' progress, things that just didn't take place many years ago, and the new hires are coming in with something that some of the other people just haven't had the opportunity, didn't grow up with. You know,
right.
Technology is something that you grow up with.
Yes.
You just can't sit down and do something that somebody has spent hours and hours in training on. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about the possibilities of of these new young people bringing new, fresh ideas to us. So that's a change in our business in the last few years.
And then there you have a proposed renovation of the high school.
Absolutely. We've been looking at this for well over a year. We've had a study group that we call acronym is CARE. It's a Community Academy group to look at our programs up and down the line, not just facilities. But in this process, we certainly, the group looked at Southridge High School and had some very major concerns about security. Southridge is about a 1972-73 building with an open concept. We don't have doors on our classrooms, so lockdown is difficult. It's impossible. So they were very concerned about some of the security issues. We did make some what I'll call Band-Aid approaches to that. We did put in a buzz-in system on our front doors, so everybody has to be viewed through a video system and then buzzed into the building. But that still makes it pretty inadequate inside. So they looked at some of those things, and then we looked at certainly at an HVAC system that was 30 some odd years old. And with the cost of energy and all that, we feel like there's certainly some efficiency areas there. And then just as I mentioned, the changes in technology, the changes in our special needs population instruction. The building is as it was in 72 or 3 whenever it was occupied, and we've had to just kind of make changes within there. So we certainly would better serve our technology needs and our special needs and some of our other areas. Like I said, our media areas, the idea in those days was to have it in the middle wide open, so it's pretty noisy in there. And that's one of the areas where really students need for it to be the most quiet and most concentrated. So that's some of the things, and there's lots of other issues. But we're down to the process now of choosing an architectural firm to work with, and then we'll move forward with whatever we need to do to get the community more informed. And then the process of building in schools in Indiana today has changed. We went through a petition remonstrance issue. Then we now have the circuit breaker. Then there's the possibility of referendum. So we haven't decided exactly which direction we're going to go. But we're excited about the possibility of looking into all aspects and seeing what the community. It's now a community call. They will decide whether they want to pay for what the cost it would be to renovate Southridge High School.
Well, I would think the community would be behind the type of renovation you're talking about.
Well, it's all for it's all for the students. We're doing what we think is best for the safety of our students, to deliver the instruction and to best accommodate them. So we're excited about what we might do. And as I said, Southridge, I believe, was occupied somewhere in 1972, 73 era there. So there's a lot of things that have changed during that period of time.
Yeah, you're basically talking about updating it, bringing it up
absolutely.
to standard.
Yeah, we're not thinking about adding a great deal of square footage to it. We think it's adequate. The building's in pretty good shape. It was done well. It's just it's like many of the others. So, the Pike Centrals, the Gibson Southerns, those people, they've already gone through renovations. But that open concept was a popular thing
Very popular.
In the 70s.
I tell you, school starts in the Southwest School Corporation on August 11th, and look forward to a good year. Do you have any closing comments?
No, just that we're excited every year. Education is one of those businesses where, in my opinion, you get a fresh start every year. It's not too many places where you just start all over. And our instructional staff get to do that. We kind of look at that as administratively too, as just starting over. So there's always that kind of excitement of just getting into a new school year. And students have a new teacher, what new staff people are on. So we're just looking forward to it, and hope that we can do the best job possible, and we're excited about that.
Terry Enlow, Superintendent of Southwest School Corporation, thank you for being our guest this morning.
Thank you for having us, Paul. Thanks.
Welcome to 27 Topics. With us at this time is Dan Balka. Dan is Superintendent of the Northeast Dubois School Corporation here in Dubois County, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Paul. It's always good to be on Channel 27 for our preschool information for students and parents.
Well, we are glad to have you and to be able to fill in the viewer and the new students and the parents.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about some of the facility changes that you may have had, things you've done through the summer.
As you know, in the summertime, we always try to do a little paint up, fix up, and keep our buildings maintained well. Our high school is getting to be 33, 34 years old, something like that, and for lack of a better term, we call it our front porch area has kind of been deteriorating, and the brick faces in the wintertime take quite a beating, and we've replaced all that and have a shiny new front entrance to our high school, and kind of renovated a little bit. Instead of having one wide staircase to the right to the entrance to the building, we also have one to the left which goes to the gymnasium, which makes it easy access and easy exit for athletic events and other things. At the middle school, we had a renovation back in '97, and we've had a little problem with the carpet back that was installed, and we finally replaced what was in the hallways there, and our maintenance guys did the tear out in the laying of these carpet squares, and we really like that product, and is a really nice addition to the school. As far as, there's always something with technology we do in the summertime, and over at Celestine we this was through the school year, and beginning last year, we've beefed up our computer labs to 30 units in both elementaries at Celestine and at Dubois, because eventually we're going to be doing some of this I-step testing online. And so you have to have enough to accommodate the kids, and also have enough to accommodate one or two being down. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the facility things that we did. And also at Dubois Elementary, we have the Dubois Community Preschool. We're going to allow them to use a room, and we made some room available to them at Dubois Elementary, and we're glad we're able to help them out, because they've helped us out with our special ed preschool kids over the last 7 or 8 years. They've been teaching our special ed preschool for us, which has really helped us out as far as staffing is concerned. So those are some of the things that we've been working on this summer.
Well, I think it's great, and preschool moving into the school there certainly, I think, make everybody happy.
Sure, and some of the things that you don't think about, where they were using at one of the churches in town, they were using their community room, and it was really not good for the church. Sometimes they needed that room for community space, and then they don't have the access to the playground equipment that we have at Dubois Elementary. So it's kind of a win-win for both of us, I think.
Well, that's great. Also, you offer some summer programming.
We've been doing summer PE at the high school for the last 2 years, and it has done what the high school principal and guidance counselor thought it would do. It frees up some staffing through the school year, where the kids get their PE requirement in the summertime, where then they don't have to take that class through the school year. And I think the kids enjoy that, because they have extra time, number one. Number two, they do a lot of different activities, such as one is canoeing at Blue River. The kids, I understand, really enjoy that. Mm-hmm. They do some bicycling and bowling and other things that fit right in.
They can do some other PE activities that are not available during the school year.
Right. And then on the academic end, we offered pre-algebra this summer, which also is going to help with staffing through the school year.
So you almost have year-round school here.
Well, if you would come to the high school in the summertime, you would think that we're having school year-round. We have activities all the time.
Well, school is probably a focal point in the community.
Right, that's correct.
Yeah. What about retirements from the past year to now?
We have had a couple of retirements, 3 to be exact. Charlotte and Keith Sager, who kind of been a couple of mainstays at our middle school. Charlotte has been our guidance counselor for about 30 years, and Keith was a social studies teacher for 30 years. And we hate to lose those folks, because that's 60 years of experience right there that we've had for a long time. But along the way, they've been mentoring other folks in the building, so we feel like the rest of our staff is in real good shape. But Charlotte is being replaced by Camille Berg. She was teaching at East Washington School System, and has her guidance license, and Keith is going to be replaced by Jason Scott as a social studies teacher.
Very good. So, and you were going to add something else?
Sure. We've also had a retirement at the high school. Dave Shipp has been our longtime math teacher, upper level math teacher, teaches calculus and the upper level courses, and we're going to miss him also. He's been I believe it was about 34 years Dave had taught.
I just didn't think that Dave was of retirement age.
Well, he tells me that he was.
He does.
Or he is.
Yes.
But it all happens to us, doesn't it?
Time flies.
Yeah. And we have Dwayne Knies going to replace Dave. Dwayne's a former graduate of Dubois, and we welcome him back. He's been teaching down at Heritage Hills for a number of years, and our gain is their loss.
Moving a little closer to home.
That's correct. That's correct. And well, one more person that I have down is Jamie Jenkins. She's a speech and language pathologist, which will work mainly with the elementary, middle school type kids. And we have had the special ed co-op helping us out with that position because we had a person retire a couple of years ago, and they're kind of scarce. So we have Jamie, and we're glad to have her back. And she was a Dubois student through 3rd grade, I believe. And because when we toured the elementary school, she said, "Oh, this is right where I went to school here," and mentioned the teachers, so forth that they had.
That's great.
Paul, along with those retirements, we had Alan Conrad, our band director, left us last year, and he's getting married and following his wife to the position that she has, and he was able to secure a position at Lebanon schools. And we have Larry Burton going to be our band director as of this fall, and he comes from Shoals School System.
Very good. So you have band backing up and running again?
Right, right.
That's great. Then what else do we have? I guess the school year is about to start.
About to start, and we have a lot of dates that we can give you. The most important is our registration and open house. We started this last year to have the first evening of registration also be an open house, which the teachers will be present. The parents and students can meet their new teacher, and that will be on Wednesday, August 8th from 4 till 8 p.m. And the second day of registration will be the next day on August 9th, and that'll be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that'll be in the building will be open, but the teachers won't be present. So the open house will be the night before, which I think both the parents and the teachers appreciate doing it that way.
Very good. Anything else that you would like to add?
A couple other things we have. We remind our bus drivers on August 8th. We have a bus drivers meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock, and this we have right with the registration, so that the principals talk over with them any new kids that they have to pick up and adjustments to their routes that they have to make. And our regular staff orientation for the teachers is August 11th. And then the most important day, we bring the kids in on August 12th.
Very good, and we're off to a start.
We're off to a start.
Anything else before we?
I can't think of anything, Paul. I just appreciate you having us in to get this information out to our parents and students.
Dan, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come in for the program.
Thanks,
Truly
Paul.
appreciate it. Dan Balka, Superintendent of Northeast Dubois School Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we want to welcome Joan Keller.
Thank you.
She is the Superintendent of North Spencer School Corporation, and going to tell us everything about the goings-on at Heritage Hills, Lincoln
Yes.
Trails, and one more elementary school, the one at Chrisney, and then
We have Chrisney, David Turnham, Lincoln Trail, Nancy Hanks Elementaries, and then our Heritage Hills Middle and High Schools.
a bunch of them.
Yes, we do.
And you've got them all ready for the opening of school. I guess it'll be on August the 12th.
Yes, school starts August the 12th. We have one more week. We are getting our buildings ready, and they will be ready on August the 12th.
Okay, and so kids that haven't registered,
Anytime from today through August the 11th, please come in and register. Our building principals are there. Our secretaries are in the buildings. If we have new students in our area, we would very much appreciate their being in before August the 12th, so we make sure we have them on our list and our roster, and we can make plans for them as well. But they can register any day between now and Monday, August the 11th.
okay. Anything changing in the curriculum?
We are going to add a program in our middle school we're very excited about. 3 or 4 years ago, we had a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics expansion of our pre-engineering manufacturing classes that we taught, and last year we moved that over to Project Lead the Way, which is just a reinforcement of that program. Well, this year we're going to take Project Lead the Way down to the middle school, and it's called the Gateway program there. So trying to do some of the introductory work, kind of stem some interest in our children in those areas. We know that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are 4 areas that are, we find that that's where we need to have more people involved in and more people educated. So we're trying to get some of that basic groundwork for our students in the middle school, then through the high school, and then if they choose when they go into the colleges or universities, they'll have a strong background in those areas.
And and you have seen this to be this program, the Gateway program, I guess?
Yes, in the middle school.
And expanded it in testing. It's proven to be very
Yes, it has.
effective,
Yes.
and also for college entrance.
Yes, our research is very strong in support of the Project Lead the Way and the Gateway program.
Well, very good. And then a literacy program.
Yeah, yes. 3 years ago, we started what we called a literacy trek. It's an ongoing process where we're looking at the literacy skills of our K-12 students. Too often we think of literacy as reading, and once a child gets to the 6th grade, we've taught them everything they need to know. But what we find out through our research is that our middle school and high school students need continued education and literacy in terms of ability to comprehend and vocabulary, primarily those 2 areas. So we're looking at, we've worked very extensively in our K-6 programs to look at our literacy and what we need to do in new strategies and that type of thing. And this year we're going to move that into the middle school and the high school area so that we can have a program that goes K-12, and when our children graduate, then the literacy and reading skills, they will have mastered those.
Very good. And another program you're starting is Testing for Potential, or an ongoing program?
Our high ability students. We know that as we look back through the last many years, if there is a group of students that maybe we haven't really worked with as much as we should have, it's our high ability students. In our environment of testing, these children always pass the tests, the I-STEP tests that we give them and the GQEs. But we are looking at, and we have begun to test these students based on some of the tests that research says can help us to better identify those students. And based on teacher observation, we are identifying our high ability students, and we're also then learning how to best teach those students, what kind of strategies we need, what kind of methods we need to work with these students within our regular classrooms so that we can help them to best meet their potential as well.
I guess this testing also points to the direction where they're strongest in.
Yes. Rarely are high ability students high in every area. This will tell us whether it's language arts, whether it's mathematics, whether it's science, maybe it's the arts, the music, the drama. Yes, it will help us determine in which areas our students are high ability.
That is great. You have an open house coming up?
Yes, our elementaries always have an open house, and we certainly encourage our parents and students to attend those open houses. And very often we have our first PTO meeting of the year during the open house as well. And Lincoln Trail will have their open house on the 26th of August. Nancy Hanks will be on the 2nd of September. David Turnham will be on the 4th of September, and Knies will be on the 28th of August. So we, like I say, we encourage our parents to come in and participate in those open houses. It just gives them a good time to meet the teachers, know who their child's in, whose care for the rest of the year, and I just think it strikes up a good conversation between parent and teacher where we know that it takes everyone to educate our children. So if we have that relationship between teacher and parent, we find that our children do better.
And to help with this cohesiveness, you have parent-teachers conferences?
Yes, we do. And our elementary parent-teacher conferences will be on the 27th of October, and our high school and middle school conferences will be on the 6th of October. So, and we've always had very good participation in our parent-teacher conferences, and we certainly encourage that to continue.
And then you have tips for parents and students for the coming school year.
Yes. You know, we hear about them all the time, but there are some things that can help our children be better students. One of those is that they come to school on a regular basis. We know that our children get sick and sometimes they can't be there. I'm not saying that, but as a rule, we know that our children can be there most every day, and they need to be. We pride ourselves in the education we give our children, and we really feel that if they miss a day, then it really is difficult for them when they come back to try to catch up. So attending on a regular basis is extremely important. We encourage our children to do more than homework. Sometimes we've kind of gotten into the mindset that once we do our homework, we have studied, but that's not truly studying. Our students need to read and reread the material they're responsible for. They need to be able to paraphrase the ideas and concepts and put it into their own words to ensure that they understand. And then they need to read and reread again and try to associate those new concepts with what they already know so that they can better retain them and use them in a way that's beneficial to them. They also need to study in a quiet environment. You and I know that when we studied, it was quiet, and now that if the TV's blaring and the record player, or no, they don't have record players anymore, the iPods are blaring, they say, oh, I can study with that. Well, I'm not sure they can, but I think a quiet environment is best for study. They need to learn to eat balanced meals, which just adds to a healthy countenance for everyone. They need to get 8 hours of sleep at night, and I know our teenagers will say 8 hours, there's no way, but they do need 8 hours of sleep at night, and they need to learn to budget their time wisely. If they budget wisely, they'll have time to study, time to work if they have a job, and they'll also have time to play, but you have to budget your time in order to have effective use of that time.
But it seems, kids today seem to have a lot of homework.
They do. And I won't debate the issues of homework because I have my own opinions, but I'm not going to express them here. They do have homework. And good homework will reinforce what is taught during the day. And when it comes back to school and we go over it, it helps the teacher to ensure that, yes, this child understands what we're learning. If a child is unable to do the homework, then that's your red flag that says, I need to work with this child more because there's something here that the child didn't understand. So we need to find new strategies and new methods of teaching for that child so that they can understand the concepts as well. Because we know so often that what we teach today is a building block for what we teach tomorrow and all the way through. And if a child misses a building block here, then it makes all the rest of them very difficult to get. So homework is important, and I know sometimes they think, oh, it's just busy work, they want me to work at night. But good homework is just a reinforcement of what's taught and also an indication to the teacher that a child does understand the concepts and it's okay to move on.
Well, and we also understand that different kids learn at a different speed and a different level, and
they sure
so
do.
Homework is important.
Yes, it is. And what might be 2 hours homework for one child might be 15 minutes for another. Mm-hmm. And we hate that, but there's nothing we can do about that.
No, but that's,
yes.
We have to understand, I mean, I think the kid needs to understand that.
Yes, they do.
And the importance of finishing it and getting it done. Then you wanted to talk a little bit about the school buses and...
Yes, Mr. Dan Sherry is our Assistant Superintendent, and he is also our Director of Transportation. If parents have any questions about which buses their children need to ride, they need to call Mr. Sherry, and our office number is 812-937-2400. If they have issues after their child is on the bus, Mr. Sherry, the bus driver, you'll want to talk to first, but if you don't get the satisfaction, then you'll need to talk to Mr. Sherry there in our central office. So we encourage parents to talk with us, let us know their concerns, because that's one of the toughest jobs we have is driving a bus, and I fully believe that. Our bus drivers deserve a medal. But our goal, what we have to do is the fact that our children will get to school safely every day and home safely. So if they have concerns, we need them to call us.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the buses with the 231 going through down there, has that created a little problem?
We have a few problems. Yes, we do. We've had to alter a number of routes. when we think we have things better and a road will open, then we close another one. So yes, it has altered our routes, and it will alter our routes through the entire year. Parents need to be assured that either the central office or the bus driver will notify them of any changes in the time their child's going to be picked up, maybe a change in bus sometimes, depending on which roads are closed. But yes, it has created some issues for us.
Well, we hope when it's all finished, you'll be satisfied.
It'll be worth it, yes.
Preschool?
Our preschool, special ed preschool, has been at Nancy Hanks since I've been at North Spencer, but it has been in some of our other elementary schools. Because we only offer one location for preschool, we feel like it's important to move that to the different schools after a period of time so that not the same children in the same area have the longer bus route to get to preschool. So it has been at Nancy Hanks since I've been there, but this year we are moving the preschool to Lincoln Trail. So that's where our special ed preschool will be. So just so parents are aware that the location has changed.
And then you wanted to talk a little bit about volunteering of parents.
Yes, we encourage our parents to volunteer in our schools. We're excited about our parents coming into our school. If a parent wants to volunteer, they need to contact the principal of their child's school and talk with the principal. We will do a criminal history check, which we do with all of our adults that work with our children. And it's not painful, it's just something we feel a need that we need to do. But we do encourage our parents to come in, visit with your teachers at the appropriate times. But we like our parents to come into our schools. Like I say again, we know that if our children are going to succeed, the parents in the school have to work together.
Joan, our time is just about up.
Okay.
You have time for some closing comments or anything else that you would like to see addressed here this morning?
We are excited about our new school year, as we always are at North Spencer. We have an extremely qualified staff in teaching, our instructional assistants, our administrators. The staff is very enjoyable to work with because their number one priority is your child.
Joan Keller, Superintendent of North Spencer School Corporation, we thank you for being our guest this morning, and looks like you have everything lined up for another great year at Heritage Hills and the elementary schools in North Spencer.
Well, thank you, and we certainly hope we do.
Thank you.